vehicle made of garbage or we will open fire! Open fire!
We got some business to attend to a few light minutes south of here.
Oh, you still use south in space?
Whoa! Jesus, Jerry, what the hell are you doing here?
Being excellent at TVSins, for one thing.
So he's sending the whole South in space joke, but the problem with that is that it's a joke.
Also, I'm done with shows pretending like people have zero spatial awareness. Even if you don't have the hypervigilance gene where you're always checking your surroundings, one of your five senses is going to clue you into the fact that someone's sitting just outside your peripheral vision.
Do you see why I sometimes sin him for taking things too literally? This is a cartoon. It's not supposed to follow real-world logic.
You can park in a handicap spot, Morty. Anything with less than 8 limbs is considered disabled here.
Of course, no one knows where to park because they apparently don't even mark the spaces.
Discount Jeremy thinks that just because he doesn't see any handicap spaces means that there aren't any at all. He's like a little kid.
Also, not having some sort of hover vehicle parking is just inefficient planning. There should be roof parking with boxed areas for vertical takeoff vehicles that don't need all the extra space to drive around.
Again, this is a cartoon. Nothing matters, so stop sending shit like this.
Also, looks like you've got Glizcut over here and then Puiza 2 doors down. And that's more poor strip mall planning, to have 2 pizza places that close to each other?
Not only is this entire sin completely inconsequential, but apparently Discount Jeremy has never seen the real world. I mean, seriously, there are literally 3 Dunkin' Donuts within easy walking distance of my job. It's stupid, but that's the way it is.
Works. Help me. What the hell?
I know, right? Even though we know there are multiple versions of all our characters, I'm counting at least 25 Jerrys in here. Is the show suggesting that a couple dozen Ricks need to ditch Jerrys at the same time when we know most Ricks aren't going to want Jerry around in the first place?
This sin is kinda confusing because of its utter stupidity. He acknowledged that there are multiple versions of the family, but is still somehow failing to comprehend the fact that there are literally infinite versions of Rick that might want to leave their Jerrys here. Infinity is a pretty big number, dude.
Including a period in your hashtag.
Pointing things out on the screen.
Also, when your vocation is life extermination, I'm guessing you're going to just go ahead and leave the geo-tracker feature off of the business card for exactly the reasons the show later confirms.
See, if this were a show that was meant to be taken seriously, I'd agree with you and remove a sin. But since this is Rick and Morty, shut the fuck up and eat your popcorn.
Yeah, sure. I mean, if you spend all day shuffling words around, you can make anything sound bad.
My theory for when I'm trying to force a sin on a show that probably isn't really a sin, but damn, the joke would be so funny and meta, somehow makes it into this episode.
What are you talking about? Your jokes are almost never funny or meta.
Hey, you sold a gun to a guy that kills people!
Yelling this in a public place.
Pointing things out on the screen. Also, are you seriously sending the show for Morty being an idiot? That's literally his one character trait. Well, that and his love of masturbation, but you get the point.
Yeah, that's the difference between you and me, Morty. I never go back to the carpet store.
Alright, since Rick is taking a turn now, we have to talk more about this game, because how can he have awareness of both the world around him and the living simulation if it's fully encompassing?
Because he's Rick? If there's one thing this show should have nailed home by now, it's that Rick can do anything.
Also, is this game only for humans? The character is human, and that helmet wouldn't fit 90% of the other clients at this Discount Dave & Buster's. There's no way that this would be profitable.
You're yet again trying to find logic in an episode of a show where a teenage boy saves a space fart who wants to destroy their reality. Stop doing that.
And finally, if the game simulates a 55-year life, how is it also showing the player's decisions in real time on the screen? Wouldn't that mean it would take 55 actual years to play?
I'm going to refer you to the previous sin.
Who wants to come watch Midnight Run with director's commentary on?
Martin Brest has never recorded a commentary for Midnight Run. That's a sin for the show getting its facts wrong, a sin for the collector's edition Blu-ray for not making it happen, and a sin for the universe getting me all horned up for something that doesn't even exist in my world.
I was almost going to let this sin slide because he was actually correct for once, but he admitted that the show got him horned up, so Discount Jeremy has a boner.
A Michael must either have precognition or the ability to see through solid objects, neither of which is mentioned or explained. So
he's literally asking for the show to sit down and explain how this master assassin with super advanced technology is so good at what he does, and that's stupid for very obvious reasons.
How is this big guy unaware that a hole was cut in the floor right beside him and his coworker was taken out? Does peripheral vision not even exist for these creatures with 72.4% of their head being eyes?
It's a cartoon.
Oh man, what What have I done?
Crashed into a heavily guarded fortress that apparently didn't have a single bit of exterior spacecraft deterrent, I guess.
We never actually see the exterior of the building though, and seeing as Rick made this car super advanced, it's entirely possible that there were defense systems, but the car simply got past them.
Portal transport that somehow knows exactly where to bisect this chesticle mantis threat for reasons ex machina.
First of all, please stop sinning Rick for being a genius. That's literally his character, meaning that it's perfectly fitting for him to know to do this. And second, Discount Jeremy still doesn't know what the term Deus Ex Machina means.
Can't get him out of here. He's gaseous. He's not gonna make it through a portal, Morty.
Oh, sure, now the portal has rules.
Why is this a sin? This specific rule has never been important before, so they're not breaking any rules, simply introducing a new one.
Open fire!
Oh, I see my mistake now. I did some fake research, and apparently the company that makes the portal gun is literally titled Ex Machina Inc.
Yet another misuse of the term Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah.
These guards apparently attended the Promethean Nebula school of just standing around and not shooting your guns even though you're about to die.
Or maybe their reaction time wasn't good enough to run into the room, take stock of the situation, and then aim and fire at the already leaving car?
It's how things should be. It's how they could be.
I could not agree more.
This psychedelic Unity musical number that is like the Doctor Strange's Open Your Eye scene but less about the astral projection and more about butts goes on for some time.
So does every single Sins video.
We now interrupt this masturbatory reference to a different episode with some news position. News position. A TV crutch so useful even Rick and Morty can't help but do it.
And that should tip you off that exposition is actually a necessary part of storytelling and is therefore not always a sin.
Sorry, Rick. The reward on your head is too high.
Higher than access to a creature that shits gold? Seems like he could have dished out some Raisin Bran, gotten a few bars out of the deal, and let Rick and Morty be on their way.
He could have, but he simply chose the option that seemed more reasonable to him. So I'm failing to see why this is a sin.
Your troopers are apparently this world's version of stormtroopers. Put these guys in a milk carton, because they've been missing this whole time.
Just how easy do you think it is to hit a fast-moving target in midair? I'd like to see you try.
I can't figure out where the main pot starts and where the Jerry pots begin. But if those 3 coins in front of our Jerry is all he has left, then he shouldn't fold. Even with ace high, these pot odds are way too good to not play. And I don't expect Jerry to know that, but I just can't let that kind of bad poker go unsinned.
So he admitted that Jerry is an idiot who wouldn't realistically know how to play well, but he still sinned this? That's stupid.
I'm now way more curious about how gear people's sex works than I'm comfortable with. I've been grinding my gears trying to figure it out.
Unfunny gear grinding joke is unfunny.
I'm gonna find some fuel and take a big fat Morty. That's my new word for because of today's events.
Explaining your jokes, which is hilarious because we also do it, which also makes it meta. And honestly, the more we explain it, the more meta it gets. Get it?
Nope.
Telepathic being that Rube Goldberg the destruction of an entire police force to escape somehow didn't see this coming.
The implication is that the fart has to actively focus its telepathy in order to sense someone's thoughts. So if he wasn't currently focusing on Morty's thoughts, he didn't know Morty was going to kill him.
Why would all the Ricks and Mortys be picking up their Jerrys at the exact same time? And so help me if it's just so we can set up a hilarious taking home the wrong Jerry joke. I'm gonna laugh my ass off, but also still add the sin.
Just because we see a bunch of Ricks taking home their Jerrys doesn't mean that all of them are. In fact, because of an earlier scene with the abandoned Jerrys, we know for a fact that not all the Jerrys are being taken home right now.
You know what really grinds my gears? You, America. Fuck you!